Hello everyone, welcome back into Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto, and thank you so very much for making it out, supporting the show by being here day in and day out. So many of you guys, I really appreciate that. And for those of you guys who aren't here during the live streams, remember to hit that notification bell icon after you subscribe and you'll get notified when we are live. Either way, thanks for making it out. We're going to be diving into some stuff today on Presidential Inauguration Day and dive into some of the news that you're going to want to know about crypto, relating to crypto, to make sure that you stay on top of things. Thanks for trusting me as your news source. We're starting another crazy week, another crazy year in crypto today, and I have plenty to share. So let's get right into it by looking at the prices. Hey, what's up, Validator ETH? Yo, Kevin. Kevin's in the house. Here we got Bitcoin up 2.6% over the last 24 hours at $103,063. It actually hit a brand new all-time high today. It touched $109,000 before retreating. There was speculation that Trump was going to be signing some sort of executive order to make a strategic reserve Bitcoin today. When that did not come out during his speech, it didn't pan out and the market kind of sold off, although it's now picking back up. Bitcoin dropped lower than where it is right now. Ethereum is up more than Bitcoin. Nice, up 4.3% at $3,305.91. I do have to point out that Bitcoin is still up almost 10% over the week. And it looks like it's trying to settle now here truly with $100,000 as its support level finally, as it maybe gets ready to continue higher. Really no sign why it should not, pending probably more news. XRP continuing its gains up 6.5% at $3.13. Solana was previously down quite a bit on the day, but recovered some of those gains, up 0.9%. And Cardano as well recovered, and it's now up 3.2%. Actually, more than Ethereum. It was not the case earlier on today. Market caps overall for crypto surprisingly down 2.1% at $3.694 trillion. Despite these big moves we're seeing on the top, some of these losses were suffered by some of these meme coins that pumped over the weekend. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. I certainly was. I was even talking about it to my girlfriend, to my partner, and she was like, you should be doing a video about this instead of talking to me, no? And I was like, no, I got to take a break sometimes. And on the weekend, covering some sort of meme coin to me was not the most exciting thing. And unfortunately, I will have to cover it today. But yeah, we'll get into that. Anyway, welcome, guys, if you're just tuning in. We had a huge amount of liquidation over the last 24 hours, over $1 billion. Actually, it's dropped off now, but when I had looked at it earlier, maybe if I hit 24 hour here, no, it's still not showing here, but I guess it just goes, of course, over the last 24 hours exactly. So earlier it was over $1 billion just around 20 minutes ago. Now it's down to $832.93 million in liquidation, still massive. And most of those positions that were liquidated were in Bitcoin for the majority. You can see here $359.66 million in Bitcoin and $98.70 million in ETH. Most of those, again, to the long side, people taking bets that the inauguration was going to be some sort of catalyst for the price and getting wrecked. In the meantime, there were quite a bit of shorts that got wrecked as well, but just normal volatility. I kind of warned you guys this week is going to be very volatile, especially for leverage trading. So to do so cautiously, some people, I guess, didn't get the hint, and they are now kind of wrecked. We still, however, are looking really, really nice when you look at the ratios of long versus shorts. That does mean that if the price starts to drop, we're probably not going to see some massive cascade that will take us down to Goblin Town, and the reverse to the upside. Really, we're probably going to be kind of range bound, it seems. Just looking at these long short ratios, very evenly split right now. I think while the market awaits future updates, perhaps from the various agencies, from the Trump administration and so on. And people who were waiting for the speech to hear what Trump had to say about crypto were some were in disbelief, living in the crypto bubble, that crypto might not be one of his huge priorities. And we did get this briefing titled President Trump's America First Priorities from the White House. And in this, there was no mention of cryptocurrency, which is perhaps why we had this sell-off. Instead, he's focused on a lot of kind of ridiculous things in some cases, like the president will establish male and female as a biological reality and protect women from radical gender ideology. Okay. President Trump will officially withdraws from the Paris Climate Accord. Okay. He's going to create some sort of emergency for energy here in the United States. He's going to make it so people who light others on fire, who are immigrants or aliens rather, who are deported and somehow sneak back into here and if you heard that story about that Guatemalan fellow, which seemed almost like a psyop, kind of following that story. Not to get into the woo-woo stuff, but that whole story was just so weird. But anyway, making the death penalty for folks like that really, and when we're talking about economics here, he's talking about making sure that all agencies are trying to lower the cost of living. I wonder how that would relate, perhaps to cryptocurrencies. Probably not directly, but if you want to read into any of this, that's probably the main thing I would say. But yeah, nothing specific to crypto here, which surprised some people. There is still, however, a greater than 1/3 chance, according to Polymarket and the bets on that side, that Trump will create a Bitcoin reserve in the first 100 days. So as it says here, the market will resolve to yes, and those who bet in favor of this reserve, if the government holds any amount of Bitcoin in its reserves at any point. So still a chance here, though after this inauguration, it did drop out from closer to 50%, so about 48% yes, down to where we're at right now, 39% chance of that. So if you do think he's going to do it in the next 100 days, you will make money if you're able to, pending local jurisdictions and or smart contract interaction skills, be able to make some money if that does happen. Anyway, according to the BitGet, one of these crypto exchanges, CEO Gracie Chen, she told the block, establishing a Bitcoin strategic reserve within the first 100 days remains largely speculative. Implementing such a disruptive policy requires through planning, regulatory support, and alignment with the Federal Reserve. Requires alignment with the Federal Reserve's framework. So yeah, I wonder if the Federal Reserve is going to be in favor of that. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's going on? Nice to see you. Des the Best. Been years. Welcome back, dude. Nice to have you back. Bilal, damn, another old name. And Quentin. Thank you so much, Quentin. I want to give a huge shout out here to Azam, who sent me a really kind donation. And I'm remembering your donation on the last show, Quentin. Thank you for that. Yeah, Azam sent me a nice $150 on PayPal. Thanks so very much for that, man. It goes to show that you do appreciate the show, and so many of you guys find value enough to tip that way, and the show means a lot. Anyway, going forward here, what I didn't want to have to cover, so I will cover it as briefly as possible. Sorry if you wanted to get into that here on the show, but not something I'm super fascinated in, was basically this rug pull. It's not a complete rug pull yet, but Trump's meme coin that blew up, it was what caused Solana to surge over the weekend. It began on Saturday. I remember looking at CoinGecko and seeing this coin in the top 30 spot by market cap, surpassing so many other things as this coin just pumped and pumped and pumped. It was basically a Trump-faced meme coin. I mean, you can see it on CoinGecko under the description. It's a coin by Trump for basically investing and trading. Really no utility behind it whatsoever. Regardless, the market pumped it massively, as you can see here. It was just going up and up and up overnight. Top 30 crypto, official Trump coin, soared over 490% in less than 24 hours. Brought up Solana with it because it was based on Solana. People saying this is Trump basically giving a nod at Solana and not doing it on Ethereum. He could have done it on Ethereum, but he did it on Solana, signifying again what was speculated and what he had been saying about putting these American crypto companies first, Solana being one of those, and then building this token on Solana, launching it Friday night at the crypto ball that we had been discussing, that various crypto executives had gone to, black tie event, over $1 million tickets to be able to meet with Trump and lend him and have him lend his ear. Maybe not much else. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, yeah, massively pumped. I remember seeing it around $6 myself and wondering if I should get in. I didn't waste my time personally, but could have been worth it unless I had held on or bought at the wrong time, right? And continued to hold on. And then following that, we also had his wife, Melania, launch a meme coin as well that pumped. Anyway, here's a post kind of covering it 10 hours ago on the cryptocurrency subreddit. Melania insider wallet rugs $12.5 million within 3 hours. They didn't wait very long at all. First, the Trump insider rugs $35 million just as his wife, Melania, announced her own meme coin scam. Then, Melania insider rugs $12.5 million worth. Just 3 hours later, the coins were bought before public announcement. I don't even know if there are words to describe this level of scamming. They obviously think they can get away with anything. They kind of can. I mean, the guy's a felon, right? But no jail time and so on. Right? The powers that be can kind of get away with anything, right? Anyway, and it's not one side or the other. It's just power. Why are they doing this just before taking office? It's probably because of the emoluments clause of the Constitution, whatever that is, which would open him up to impeachment for abusing the office to enrich himself. Trump supporters like to say he doesn't take a government salary of $400,000, but the dude has grifted more money through politics than almost anyone, even more than Nancy Pelosi, from taking hundreds of millions for his inaugural committee, more than any president in history, to selling Chinese-made shoes, to raising money to fight election fraud without ever even setting up any such fund, to take money from foreign governments like Saudi Arabia indirectly through his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. There's even been a more naked grifter in politics, and that's saying something. So yeah, a massive rug pull. I guess the real shame here is that it happened to regular folks for the most part. He wasn't here targeting the ETFs and the corporations. There was speculation about this Trump NFT months, like a year ago, basically. I talked about it on the show. So naturally, it was going to pump a lot when it finally released and launched. And it was the average person who was trying to buy this thing up. It was folks who were selling their hard-earned crypto or swapping something like ETH to get into the Solana ecosystem, setting up their wallets to try to swap into this coin, and maybe having done so too late, people who were suffering congestion, failed transactions, money not showing up in their wallets. I mean, we've seen time and time Solana has issues under pressure. It is not decentralized in many cases. And it is kind of a shame to really witness something that I couldn't support on my own moral and ethical level. But there it is. That happened over the weekend. And now these coins continue to drop on the day. We have Trump coin down 4.6% on the day. Yeah, I wonder if it's topped. In my opinion, it probably has topped up. It has topped here and will continue lower and lower till it settles at some sort of base, and probably lower than that, since NFTs don't seem to have that much staying utility, really, unless you're something like a CryptoPunk, which still has had quite the hit, right? Anyway, in, I guess, more positive news, Gary Gensler, the ex-chair of the SEC, has now officially resigned. There is now an acting chair, Mark Uyeda, someone who has been very positive toward crypto and has lambasted the prior administration for putting roadblocks on crypto and developing frameworks to describe what exactly is a security and so on. Working with, for example, Commissioner Hester Pierce of the SEC to start a process that could lead to more clarity on how the SEC views crypto and could decide to even review pending enforcement cases, something that might have pumped up XRP, for example, we discussed last week. This could all begin very soon, and this was reported by Reuters at the end of last week. So yeah, he's going to be in place right now. Doesn't mean he's going to be staying there, and we will see who does get announced. Hopefully it is also somebody who's crypto friendly coming up here. And then we had Michael Saylor, the big laser eye Michael Saylor out here announcing on Twitter, the company of the 47th president of the United States just bought $47 million in Bitcoin. Yeah, no, actually he did not buy $47 million in Bitcoin. What he bought was wrapped Bitcoin. You can see it right here in this comment by antiprosynthesis.eth. He bought the same amount in ETH, and it was wrapped Bitcoin that he bought on Ethereum. So basically Bitcoin that gets locked up, and there is a digital IOU in a smart contract that is created called WBTC, which is redeemable for the actual Bitcoin when that Bitcoin gets unlocked, and for the most part trades at parity for Bitcoin. So if you buy WBTC, it enables you to interact with the Ethereum ecosystem because it is wrapped in the Ethereum network and allows you the utility to do whatever you want with that, right? It could be custodying that yourself. It could be locking that up in decentralized finance to get some sort of yield, to do swap this, swap that, you name it. But it is not Bitcoin. It has more utility in many cases than Bitcoin, but it is not Bitcoin. So no, Michael Saylor, he did not. What actually Trump's company did, which is called World Liberty Financial, a DeFi company native to Ethereum, did was they swapped $90 million worth of stable coins for things such as Ethereum, Chainlink, and other tokens that include Ethena, another stable coin, Tron, which I think was a little surprising. Not too surprising if you realize that Justin Sun was tweeting about the crystal ball and around the events surrounding Trump, making it look like it's going to be really positive for Trump in reference to these reviewed SEC case enforcement actions. And so I think, yeah, anyway, before I actually say that, they sent over $10 million worth of USDC to CowSwap in a number of transactions. I love these colors: CowSwap, SushiSwap, Uniswap. Makes me hungry. I haven't really eaten very much today, so going to be looking towards that after I finish up here. Anyway, yeah, World Liberty Financial, Trump-backed DeFi protocol, did all these swaps on Ether, right? And they predominantly bought Ether here out of all of this. You can see their holdings here on Arkham's Intel website. You can see ETH, they have 56.449k ETH, a massive amount in their war chest of ETH, and growing. Today it grew quite massively. They also bought WBTC. They currently have 456.777 wrapped Bitcoin. They have STETH, they have Aave, they have Link, Ethena, Tron, and you can see that also on Etherscan. Hours and hours of ETH that is entering their World Liberty multi-sig. Look at these huge amounts of Ethereum tokens that are entering. So building that Ethereum war chest, and we get kind of a sign of things that could be pumping here, because why would Trump say something negative about these coins or outright ignore them at all, right? Coins such as Chainlink, ETH, and Tron. So maybe these are things to be considering in our portfolios. Maybe not all of them, but anyway. Anyway, to just kind of finish up on this segment here, SKU said this on the Ethereum subreddit. The story about Saylor bragging on X about Trump buying $47 million of Bitcoin really is insane and needs highlighting properly. It's one of the most off-cuff, wrong, flat out things, misleading statements that I've seen Saylor say for the most part. yeah, I don't know why he would say something to take away almost his own credibility in future statements. But yeah, not true. He did not buy actual Bitcoin. Full story is WLFI is a DeFi project being launched as an Aave instance, which is why they have Aave on Ethereum, which is another decentralized finance product I've mentioned throughout the years. One of the older ones. They have raised hundreds of millions selling the WLFI tokens for this Ethereum project. They have so far purchased or accumulated over $200 million worth of ETH or derivatives using the funds they raised, and they purchased $47 million worth of wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum, again from the funds they have been raising. That's right, Trump's team is building on Ethereum, and they are buying something perhaps with even more utility, right, is what they're building versus just some sort of NFT with Trump's name and face on it. And they are buying ETH at 4 times the rate they are buying WBTC. But that Bitcoin is wrapped on Ethereum, and the funds to do all this buying comes from an Ethereum-based fundraising campaign. Total own goal for Saylor and Bitcoiners, I don't know what he meant by this when he wrote this, to be bragging about this. What is Trump building on Bitcoin? He finishes there. Hey, thank you so much, dude. Quentin, again, with the donation. Damn, dude, you're like funding this show. Appreciate that, Quentin. ETH for the win indeed, baby. It's looking like the sun is rising here for ETH. I have kind of said maybe the ratio had finally bottomed out, and I actually am standing behind that, continuing to follow this news and even seeing this right now. Besides all the huge amounts of fundamentals, all these other things that are being built and tested on Ethereum, the network technically becoming stronger and stronger and easier to use and developed on by the day. I mean, we talked about like even being able to use a different programming language, right? Like Haskell to build on Ethereum. So inviting even more developers onto this. And then Vitalik over the weekend, I didn't post it here, but him basically, again, refocusing the plot. You can see it on his official Twitter account and talking about the goals here, about restructuring Ethereum Foundation leadership that's been going on over the last year. And they're really not going to be trying to like take away from the femboy, golden boy narrative here. That's not going to be a project. They're basically, what he's trying to say here is not going out there to try to placate the massives here and the massive amounts of retail and just say stuff to try to pump the coin. Really what's focused here is utility and the original goals of Ethereum. And I had to say I agreed with him at the time, even though in the community people were saying that's kind of not what we want to hear from Vitalik. I imagine the sentiment is different today since the price is looking a little bit better. Anyway, yeah, Ethena, something else that World Liberty Financial is buying. Synthetic dollar is what Ethena is, because I haven't mentioned it on the show. Looks like a decent yield, 8% if you stake this USDE stable coin pegged to the dollar. Again, these things are super risky. The 8% they kind of describe here on their main website at ethena.fi is not a guarantee, so be very, very cautious. And oh no, I can't even get involved because I'm in the United States, and this is not truly open finance. It looks like, at least not on their front end website. I haven't actually looked at the smart contract here, but yeah. I don't have my wallet linked, so it's not because my wallet is linked to high-risk activities. And whenever you link your wallet to websites like this, do so with the utmost diligence. Super make sure you're on the right website, first of all. Make sure that this isn't something that's going to rug on you. Be careful with anything that promises a high yield, or any yield oftentimes. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that one. Anyway, Utah is now the latest one introducing strategic Bitcoin reserve legislation as announced here by Bitcoin Magazine. Here is another bill creating the authority for the state treasurer to invest public funds in certain digital assets. So not just in Bitcoin, though you see the Bitcoin logo here, in certain digital assets, Ethereum probably being the most decentralized versus Bitcoin. I mean, there are plenty of other coins I don't wish to take away from them, actually, that are very decentralized at this time, such as Monero, which I don't know, it's kind of been ignored recently, so maybe that'll see the light of day again. It's just had a lot of pain, of course, from more and more exchanges being forced to blacklist Monero from trading because it is actually quite private and difficult to trace, which is kind of what Bitcoin was originally Well, maybe not originally for those kinds of ideals specifically, but Monero exists for those kinds of things, for folks who cannot. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, Wild Weekend, we covered that. We talked about the chances of a strategic Bitcoin reserve, Trump coin. Yeah, I'll leave you guys here with this by Chris Dunn, again, an OG trader, commentator on this space that I super respect. Recommend you follow him on X if you don't. He said, "Here we go, folks. A new era for the crypto in the United States. Feels like we're back in the Wild West from a decade ago. And Bitcoin turned 100K from resistance to support last night. 2025 is gonna be wild." I totally feel that. I totally agree, and I can't wait to get started. Well, we just did get started. I appreciate you guys here on the starting line with me for what is going to be wildness. I can't believe it. Almost it feels like we're in reality television sometimes with some of these headlines. I cannot believe them. And I'll finish with our quote of the day by Joan Borisenko, and this one is quite specific to, I think, ETH, since it was hard with so many people saying you're wrong by thinking ETH hasn't bottomed over the last week. You know, it gets to you, but I have to really remind myself by looking at so many different metrics that I feel like I'm in the right place for me. Maybe not for you guys, maybe not for them, but for myself. And so here's the quote: "Patience is peace. Learning to be patient is a continual practice that takes years to ripen. Let it unfold day by day and be gentle with yourself in the learning." Alrighty, guys, that's our show for the day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care, much love, and stay cryptic. Peace.